Well, hello everybody. Today we're going to go back to Hearts of Iron 4, but we're going to do things a little differently. You could probably tell now that we're playing the Equestria at War mod for Hearts of Iron 4, because let's just go full cringe. Let's just do it. Let's see all kinds of cool stuff that we can get up to. And we're going to be playing as the Griffonian Empire, because they have a chance to become really big and powerful and do lots of war, and those things are what's going to keep the game interesting, especially the early game when we fight for, control of stuff. So, oh gosh, there's always so much lore here. I don't want to read it all, but oh gosh, you guys ever seen My Little Pony? They made a mod out of Equestria at War, and they made they made up a lot, a lot more stuff than what was just in the show. So yeah, let's play as the Griffonians, and which does not exist in the show. It was completely made up, and we will have a good time. The Griffonians are supposed to be like a stand-in for the Holy Roman Empire, and by being, really decentralized to a bunch of little states, duchies, and kingdoms, and baronies, and other stuff. And right now, we're removing hands. We don't need hands. We have we're gonna be griffins. Griffins have hands? I don't know. They got feet, bird feet. Alright, the Griffonian Empire, once the strongest power in the world, stretching across most of Griffonia and even having colonies on Equus. But fate was cruel to the imperial dynasty, and their empire would not last. Grover the First Griffonstone, the wielder of the sacred idol of Boreas, founded the empire in 705 by uniting almost all Griffon kind under one banner. The empire continued to prosper and grow under the tight but just talons of the Griffonstone dynasty. Their conquest of the Griffonian continent, continued by the infamous warrior Emperor Grover II, was, however, halted by the ponies of the East, who would later form the River Coalition to oppose the empire and stop it from threatening their sovereignty. With the end of expansionism, many peasants and previously subjugated noble families had time to plot against the emperor and his divine rule, beginning to see him as a foreign tyrant rather than a just ruler. Nevertheless, Emperor Grover III managed to keep the empire together and ensure the loyalty of most of his subjects. Lord for many years, those who continued to resist him soon vanished without a trace. He also established the imperial army, which soon became the largest military force in the world, and sought to form an imperial identity to unite the many cultures of his vast empire. However, during the reign of the next emperor, Grover IV, cracks began to appear in the foundation of the empire. While he was an expert administrator who was liked by the common Griffins and began the modernization of the empire, the nobility despised him and grew increasingly disillusioned with Groverian rule. When he unexpectedly died, leaving an underage and frail Grover V to succeed him, the nobles made their move and formed a regency council to govern the empire. But the true decline of the empire did not start until the Griffonstone cadet branch lost hold of the idol of Boreas. The ancient relic that was a symbol of the power and legitimacy of the imperial dynasty was stolen in 971 by a wicked cyclops named Arimaspe, who also slew King Guto VI, the supposed regent of Grover V. With this loss, it is said the gods abandoned the empire. After the mysterious assassination of King Gumberto, the kingdom of Wingbardi was the first to secede in 972 under the leadership of newly crowned Garibald Tollenuel III, together with their allies in the soon formed Corinthian Pact. After that, the discrete family of Aquileia seceded, taking with them most of the west. Other smaller vassals such as Brodfell followed suit. Everything climaxed in 978. The empire was still in a regency, and the power-hungry imperial nobility prevented Grover V from ascending to the throne even after he became of age. This unjust regency came to an abrupt end in the winter of 978, when thousands of angry peasants and lowborn assaulted the imperial palace. The emperor survived with the aid of Archon Eros VII and fled to the countryside, though many nobles were lynched. A Griffonian republic was proclaimed, which greatly replaced the empire. In the chaos that followed, Skyfall slaughtered the imperial garrison, seized the imperial navy, and formed an independent trade federation. A counter-revolution, led by Duchess Gabriella Eagleclaw of Strawberry, was launched in the surviving nobility. by the surviving nobility just a year later, and Grover V regained his throne for good, while most Republicans were forced to flee to the cold north. Following the Republican coup, many of the more powerful nobles in Herzland, the heartland of the empire, received considerable autonomy and remained nominally loyal to the emperor, but the empire was nothing but a shadow of its former self. With only a fraction of its territory left, and Grover V's health rapidly declining, the remnants of the empire must seek out a valid, capable regent to lead them forward until the next emperor, Grover VI, is ready for the task. Many fear that recent history will repeat itself. The Griffonian Empire is holding on by a thread. Will it return to its former glory and defeat the various traitors on the continent, or will it finally collapse entirely? Only the gods know. So there's a lot of stuff and mechanics, and I don't want to talk about all that. I have played this mod many times before, and it's fun, and many people will say it's really well made, despite, you know, the source material being My Little Pony. But yeah, this will be a fun campaign, and we will conquer so much stuff. For any ranks pack, there's a bunch of stuff. Okay, so here is our area, Herzland, which I think there's a map mode for. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, states. There's a lot of states. So many states. This map is huge. Okay, first things first, let's turn off some of these things. I don't care to do a lot of these. I prefer to just build my trains, build my networks, but we will start with research. Always go electrical engineering and national standards, and you usually get first equipment. So the Minenwerfer and the Blautool. Yeah, so the Griffonians are supposed to be like Germans. So let's build some factories, which we don't have a lot to begin with. Achtung! See, they're just Germans. Alright, let's see who we have to, Ferdinand, Dawnclaw. We got a field marshal. So, yeah. Field marshal, you'll do. Okay, so. Yeah, Reich. And we'll make you blue. There's no normal blue. Oh, weird. Okay. And do we have any... We don't have any planes. We don't have any ships. And we won't have a lot for a while. But let's build some planes. Bombers. Oh, let's build some transports. Let's get it up with our... What do we also have? Armored cars. And supply equipment, trucks. Definitely need some trucks. Always need trucks. Artillery, trains. Always need trains as well. In fact, that might be priority number 2. Because we have... How many trucks do we have? Or trains? We have 8. Well, we have 9. We need 8. Okay, alright, yeah, let's make a intelligence ministry. What else can we do? Change our priorities. Yeah, that's probably good. Okay, so... Oh, and, I don't need to be doing anything. Imperial Guard Division. That's fine for now. Stick with it. I'm going to fill out a full force of 24. Yeah, so we'll work on that. Okay, unpause the game. And then we have a bunch of vassals. We have vassal, nominal vassal, autonomous vassal, which is Romau. The Yale Rectorate, nominal vassal, nominal vassal, nominal vassal, nominal vassal. They're all nominal vassals. What does that mean? I don't remember what that means. Autonomy gain, overlord, extra train. Yeah, so it's I can manage my subjects here, can't I? autonomous vassal, which is even less free. Okay. Okay, so a nominal vassal can apparently declare war. They can decline my call to war. They could probably do a lot. And okay. That was a big country. In a big country. Okay, train trip. Despite his deteriorating health, the emperor decided to embark on a trip across the land in a train. Nobles and commoners alike gathered at the Griffonian's brand new railway station to witness his departure. Trip was supposed to be long. Finally arrived as personal. The nobles raced to welcome him. Yada yada yada. He nodded wearily. Slowly walked, escorted by heavily armed, and was next beset by the commoners. When he finally got inside his private, he asked not to be disturbed, sat down, and took a nap. He is he's not doing so good. Born in 960, so he's about 57. Yeah. He has a stroke. No, his father had a stroke. Oh, we can't do any of that. But we can borrow from here, which is good. Like that. Yay, they granted us a loan for a year. Coldstream Summit. Okay, so I believe this is for these guys, the River Coalition, a big chunk of nations. They are going to formally renew the defensive pact between all 8 nations. How the agreement goes beyond the Senate. Actively condemns bloodshed. Okay, so they'll probably do something. The Grand Hoofball Game. Yeah, they're doing something. String of setbacks plagued the foul. This might be a call. 2 teams far from last. This rematch. Oh, how exciting. Okay, cool. A gift from Skyfall. Huh. They've given us a coin. It's a mean-spirited joke, apparently, making fun of the fact that we lost this idol and our power with it. Okay, so we have an intelligence agency. Unfortunately, we don't have the civilian factories to really do much with that. So we'll worry about that later. Modify the officer call. I could do that, but I would lose my leadership. I think I want to build up a bunch of leadership first. Command power. Back home. Okay, the emperor has returned. He saw all the lands, met with the nobles. He met the Archon, which I guess is like our pope. On the following day, he barely got out of bed and complained of pain. He's lost consciousness. The 90-year-old Griffon. Oh yeah, the Archon is 90. Richard, it's been his day. Okay, so unfortunately the Emperor is sick. The Equestria Games, they're doing something. We don't care about the Equestrians. They're cringe. Oh, an operative. Okay. A scientist. That might be handy. Let's see if we can't build an intelligence network in our dear neighbor Aqualia. Okay. How much longer before the Emperor dies? Loan from Arcanate of Boreas, Changeling Griffonian Attaché. Okay, we are Germany, sort of, but the Changelings over here, led by Queen Chrysalis, are like the actual Germans. They're like Nazi Germany, because they're gonna attempt to conquer Equestria. And they might, or they might lose. Just depends. I guess we'll find out, won't we? Ah, shucks, the Emperor died. He's only 47. I don't know how to do math. I said he was 57. He was 47. Zebra potions. His unstable and controversial reign was finally come to an end. And a bunch of, that's unfortunate to say it was a pathetic ruler. Others call him kind. Many secretly despised him. His father intended to personally groom his heir and make him a mighty warrior, but died unexpectedly when he was only a child. So instead, to become a neglected puppet, The young and sickly emperor was denied his throne when he turned 18 and lacked the power to demand it, but it politely turned out he did not need to do so. Revolution brought a bloody end to the regency, and the emperor only survived thanks to the Archon's efforts. Counter-revolution gave him, but at the time he ruled over a tiny remnant of the once vast empire, surrounded by vassals. And now, due to his son and heir not being of age. Okay, so my son, Grover the Sixth, is a child, and bloated bureaucracy. All right, okay. So we are getting provisional government as the non-aligned Regency Council comes to power. There's a bunch of stability and political power. The Emperor is dead, and the Regency Council is in charge, and we have little Grover the Sixth. Okay, so our first major decision. Do we stick with the old guard? What do we want to do? Or the Council of Three? Archons would have you believe that the aristocrats are little more than drunken wretches burning their money away on festivities filled with debauchery. Although we cannot speak for us all, there is still a sizable, hard-working majority who wish to see the Empire's glory properly restored. Okay, so if I do one, what do I get? The Kaiser Party, the Arcanet, the Rat der Drei. Establish the Industriat. Alright, so we want to conquer a lot. We want to conquer so much. Pure. Okay, so it looks like, depending on under the clear sky. Okay, yeah. So I guess it depends on which path we go down. Do we want to become supremacists? Kinda. Yeah. I remember I did this before, and I'm trying to remember what happened. Like, at a certain point, you become, like, democratic as the Empire. But I don't want to do that. Let's go down the Council of Three. The decadent noble scum can never be allowed to hold the reins of the Empire, which belong to holy Griffons who are guided by the gods themselves. Thanks to their venerable wisdom, our future will be bright and blessed by Boreas. Okay. How do I... Okay, so... The Emperor is dead. We already knew that. Gosh, get with the times. Alright, we are missing lots of equipment. Alright, Wingbirdie is now having a civil war. Huh. Weird. We don't care about that. Ooh, Bronze Hill sends a gift. Our vassal Bronze Hill. Silver. Okay, you were there. You were my guy, but you're not anymore. That's Bronze Hill. I could steal the gems. That would be silly. I'm not gonna do that. A bunch of cities have little descriptions and lores for them, but like it's a lot. There's a lot going on in this mod. Play it yourself, you know, delve in and explore it. It's very dense. The Council of Three have done whatever. Okay, the Archon takes a stand. I was such a fool when I let the nobles ruin Grover the Fifth's reign. In the name of Boreas, I shall not let it happen again with his son while I still live. Archon Eros the Seventh echoed in the halls of the Imperial Palace. Even now, the nobility of the Regency Council was once again gathered in the chambers to argue. He would fill with raw determination. Never again. He slammed the door. The nobles and merchants went silent, began to speak. Fellow Council Griffs, I think we have wasted enough time bickering and arguing pointlessly. It is time for decisive action. Indolence, greed, and indecisiveness brought the empire closer to ruin than ever. Is it not clear that the concept of a regency council is flawed to the core? In these dire times, the empire needs a strong leader, and because the emperor is not fit for such a position, someone else must take his place. Oh, excuse me. And I do not propose it to be some noble who only cares for themselves. I say the regent must be a commoner, a person with a powerful enough will to restore stability and order in the heartlands. This person should be also close to the gods, so Boreas may grant us prosperity, so Air may grant us peace, and so Arcturus may grant us strength to smite our foes and destroy those who would oppose the will of the Emperor. The Archon looked at each conscript with a piercing glare and locked eyes with the Duchess of Strawberry, who responded with an equally fierce gaze. I think we all know who is fit for such a position. Those who disagree may soon discover that the gods themselves have abandoned them. The room remained in staggered silence for a while before the merchants and priests of the council stood up and hailed Archon. We are the Archon, and the gods are with us, shouted the prelate of Kronberg. Soon others joined him and repeated the chant, drowning out any dissent from the nobles. Eros faintly smiled. The time for justice had finally come. Alright, well, we get stability, war support, and boost of supremacy, which is like fascism, I guess. Okay, so Arion, Archon of Air, has arrived from Romau to support his companions, known for his zeal. Okay, well, the Archon of Era wills. I guess there's multiple Archons, or where does the Archon live? I don't know. Somewhere. Still the Regency Council. There's gonna be a lot of story in the beginning before we finally. Alright. Oh, the Arabian Republic has conquered Saddle Arabia. Good for them. Somewhere over here. Saddle Arabia has capitulated. The Khalidi dervishes declared war on the Thunderian Majocracy. I don't know what that is. I somewhere, somewhere around here. I know there's a Majocracy around, Magocracy around there, but I don't know where this Thunderians is. Thunderians, oh Thunderians. You're not Thunder. There you are. Okay, so you're there. Okay. Okay. Declared war there. Okay, cool. Alright, Longsword is a civil war. The county of Longsword has been under the rule of the Reformistan faction of the Griffon Knights. These Reformistan have been cruelly persecuting the local ponies, so plan to address any other issues. Their unrest. Yada yada yada. Okay, so basically, this little area of Longsword has been under the control of knights, and the thing is, like, the land is ruled mainly by ponies, or they're inhabited mainly by ponies. I guess I can look up. They have a bunch of little things, right? Illiteracy, scientific debt. There's a bunch of different attributes your nation can have, and focuses can get them better. Like, you know, get your science devs so you can research at full capacity, society, build stuff. So I'm suffering penalties for, yeah, see, I have minus 10% construction, minus 30% for my illiteracy, outdated industrial sector, so I'm not as efficient. I haven't developed science base, though. Negligible poverty, so that's nice. Culture group. All these, yeah, these are Eastern ponies, these are Hertzlanders, Diamond Dogs. Okay. Enough of that. Let's see what happens next. If anything happens. Arian's speech. Right. Speaking of which, do I have... That's not it. Resources. I have tungsten, chromium, some iron, or steel, and that's about it. There's a bunch of resources in the lands, but they're not under me directly. I don't believe I could trade for it, though. I might do that, actually. I have a deficit of aluminum. I don't really too. Actually, we need our factories. The Die kleine Zauberung. Let's see what Proteus has to say. The Archon of Victorious has come to Griffonheim. All right. The Archon of Air speaks. Arion the 7th, or Arion the 12th went to Griffonheim. His speech was full of fury, so he called more like an Archon of Arcturus. He condemned the nobility and called them decadent, lazy, corrupt, selfish, greedy, marite, and several dozen other negative epithets. I don't know what marite is supposed to mean. He blamed them for the empire's decay, for the emperor's death, for the revolution, for every unfortunate event in the empire's history. It was clear, he said, the empire needed to be purified and remade anew. Their plentiful land were distributed to the devout followers, for she was a goddess of the earth and fertility, and thus her bounty belonged to them. He asked the crowd how many of them worshipped air and paid tithes to the Arcanite, and many remained silent. Yet a few faithful raised their claws. Grinned, and he said he would do it. He grinned and said he would everything to purge the unclean. Oh, this guy is a... Whoa! He's a fierce one, huh? But he gave me stability. I can always appreciate that. Speaking of which, calm voice of reason, the Grand Duke Gerlach of Fifth Ischia. Daka in the dock. I know there is a third way you can go. Some guy somewhere, I don't know who he is, can seize power, and it's really hard because everyone will turn against him. But he kills the emperor because he's just an awful, awful person. Okay, so what do we have? Longsword. Oh yeah, the Longsword Liberation Army ruled by this communist pony girl. What's her name? Starry Night. That's just conquered. Alright, so Rosewood Order. Okay, so they're gonna... Communists are gonna win. Alright, the Knight Archon's speech. Archon Proteus the Third finally arrived in Griffonheim. Yada yada yada. He was late. Selling. And okay, people are trying to profit off of selling Proteus merchandise. Get your Proteus merchandise. That's funny. As soon as the muscular Knight Archon appeared on the balcony, they cheered. Even winking to oh, so he's a bit of a ladies' man, huh? Gets all the dames ruffled. Asked for people to calm down, and they obeyed him immediately. And he began to speak of the uncertainty and restlessness in the Heartsland. Many doubt about the future and fear another revolution. A lack of leadership. Proteus then told them in such a time one had to be brave and look to Arcturus and have confidence in him and his divine protection. If they remained strong and faithful to their gods, they would prevail and prosper. He urged the people not to simply sit and wait, but to make preparations. Their greatest strength came from unity, and unity came from sharing a single noble cause. And what cause? That cause was ensuring peace, stability, and integrity within the empire, no matter the cost, so all Griffons could live a good life. He ended his speech with praise Arcturus and saluted the crowd, who in turn cheered to praise not only the god of war, but him as well. As he turned around to go back inside, he looked at Eros and grinned. Despite the audience's response, Eros seemed unimpressed. You have to admit, it was a good speech. Well, it got me more stability. Okay, the kleine Saberung is more unstable than ever before. The Emperor's death, and specifically many officers have been disloyal. Okay, so we're gonna do a purge. We're gonna do a quick purge of the army, and it'll be great, guys. Don't worry. You'll all summer sun celebration. Ah, yeah, it's something that the Equestrians do. We don't care about that. Tell you what we do care about is giving a trait to our guy. I guess we can do a trait for this guy too. Infantry expert. I like infantry expert. Yeah, okay. We'll get a little experience. of things that never happened. It's published by someone named Barris Solartail. It follows the life of a character simply known as Ropshin, a Republican terrorist who had been ordered by his superiors to assassinate the Bombardian king. His attempts fail. However, what changes the course of history, the Empire never falls apart, and the revolution of 978 never takes place. As Griffonia prospers, Ropshin begins to question his Republican values, but he becomes a loyal supporter of the Empire. With the premise of the story rather simple, the writer focuses more on the character of Ropshin and his beliefs than the actual plot of the story, and some critics point out that at times it feels as if the character and the writers are the same person. Nevertheless, the book has been generally warmly received both by commoners and nobles alike. Ha! Yay, imperialism! Yay, empire! Yay, monarchy! Oh, Barrack Revolt. But it looks like we're out of time, so next time I will pick this back up and, well, we'll see what the Barracks Revolt was all about, and hopefully we'll start a little bit of consolidating our position in the Hertzland. Won't that be fun? All right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.